Breaking news from the South Atlantic, low-flying jets. Missiles failing at the worst possible moment. And a split-second decision that would send a Royal Navy destroyer to the bottom. It's the 25th of May, 1982. Two pairs of Argentine A-4 Skyhawks are tearing across the Falklands, or the Malvinas, as Buenos Aires calls them, on what could very well be a one-way mission. Leading them is Captain Pablo Carvalho. His men are flying aging, lightly equipped A-4 Skyhawks, each loaded with bombs and little else. Their objective is clear and deadly: strike the British warships. Argentina has seized the islands, but holding them means breaking the Royal Navy's grip. And that grip comes in the form of missile-armed destroyers guarding the approaches. Argentine intelligence confirms that two British ships have edged closer to shore to shield their ground forces. The islands themselves provide the attackers a narrow chance, terrain masking that might let them slip. Entering their range. Don't climb, no matter what. The Skyhawks skim the land as low as they dare, hugging ridgelines and following the contours of the islands as they approach enemy radar range. Both British ships are armed with advanced anti-aircraft missiles and powerful tracking systems, weapons that have already taken a brutal toll on Argentine pilots. The only defense the attackers have is altitude,
Bridge, I have
or
contact
rather,
bearing
the lack
040.
of it. Aboard HMS
Confirm
Coventry,
visual.
Captain David Hartdyke has his crew at action readiness. British Special Forces have warned of Argentine sorties in recent days. But this time, he does not yet know that his own ship is the primary target. Then the radar operators call it out. For contacts bearing 225.
All hands
range
brace
30.
for impact.
The words confirm his fears. Hartdyke orders
Bracing for
immediate
impact.
action stations. Alarm bells echo across both ships. On Coventry, the long-range Sea Dart missile system swings into position, ready to fire. At the same moment, the Skyhawks approach Pebble Island. Flying so low they seem fused to the earth below. Isla de Bourbon ahead. Stay low, follow me. With precise flying and nerves of steel, the Argentines slip into radar shadows. On Coventry's screens, the contacts vanish. Contacts lost over Pebble Island. Exactly what Hartdyke dreaded. Pebble Island is dangerously close. The Sea Dart missiles have a minimum engagement range. If the attackers pop up too late,
Mayday, this is
there
Captain
may be only
Smith.
a single chance
We have
to
sustained
fire,
critical
if that.
damage to the
He
starboard
reaches for the
engine room,
radio.
requesting
Broadsword.
immediate assistance.
Report status. HMS Broadsword carries the shorter-range Sea Wolf missile system, designed for close-in defense. In theory, better suited for what is now unfolding. Meanwhile, Carvalho brings his Skyhawks in tight behind the cover of the landmass. His aircraft have no radar warning receivers, no electronic countermeasures, just A's, instinct, and timing. At 10 nautical
Starting the
miles,
attack.
the British ships finally come into view. Starting the attack. Good luck, Captain Carvalho and his wingman, Lieutenant Carlos Rink. Push forward and accelerate to maximum speed, skimming just feet above the waves. On Coventry, the radar
They're
lights
moving
up
too
again.
fast! Scramble the
Two
jets
hostiles bearing 192, low level. And then, chaos. A British Harrier junk jet reports in. It is operating within the same engagement zone. Captain. Friendly aircraft 20 miles out. Fire,
Red alert.
and risk hitting your own
Shields
aircraft.
up.
Or hold,
All
and risk
weapons
letting
to
the
full
attackers through,
standby.
in a
I
split-second
want
decision.
targeting
Hartdyke
solutions
commits.
now.
Turn the Harrier away. Fire missiles. But the Sea Dart operators struggle. The Skyhawks are flying so low that radar locks flicker and fail. Carvalho's canopy is streaked with sea spray and salt as he races through the mist. So low the waves almost seem within reach. On Coventry's bridge, tension builds as the aircraft close the distance. The Sea Darts refuse to achieve a solid lock. Hartdyke feels the weight of the decision pressing down. If Sea Dart fails, Sea Wolf must succeed. Aboard Broadsword, operators finally pick up the contacts. The Skyhawks are so tightly grouped that the Sea Wolf radar initially registers them as a single target. A lock is achieved. The launch sequence begins. Then, the single contact splits into two.
Man, we have a
The missile
developing
guidance
situation.
system
We need
falters.
weapons tight.
The missiles aren't responding. Restart them.
He's too
There is
close.
no time. Lookouts on Coventry spot the incoming jets with the naked eye. Across the deck, guns swing into position. In a final, desperate measure, HMS Coventry's deck guns thunder to life. The 4.5-inch main gun booms, joined by automatic cannons, machine guns, even sailors firing rifles. Tracers rip across the sky. Shell splashes erupt around the incoming jets. Carvalho sees the geysers of water climbing higher. The British fire tightening its aim. The target is right there, close enough to touch, but the barrage is intensifying. He can feel it, they won't survive another second on this heading. Switch to the other one. He breaks off Coventry and veers toward HMS Broadsword. The two Skyhawks bank hard, slicing across Coventry's bow, lining up for a new attack run. Bomb release. Two 1.000-pound bombs drop and strike the ocean's surface. Instead of sinking immediately, they skip, bouncing off the water like stones, redirecting toward Broadsword. Sailors watch in disbelief as the massive bombs ricochet twice across the sea. One plunges short and disappears beneath the waves. The other slams into Broadsword's side. It punches through the hull, then, miraculously, deflects upward and bursts back out through the deck before tumbling into the ocean without exploding. A dud. Carvalho's heart sinks, but the mission isn't over. Behind him comes the 2nd Argentine section, First Lieutenant Mariano Angel Velasco and Ensign Jorge Nelson Barrinuevo. Their aircraft carry smaller, 250-kilogram bombs, less powerful, but known to be more reliable. On Coventry's radar, all four contacts now reappear. Hart-Dyke orders an immediate hard turn to starboard, trying to position his ship for another missile opportunity. Sea Dart locks onto Velasco. Shoot. A bright flash erupts from Coventry's deck as the missile streaks skyward in a plume of smoke. But at that exact moment, Velasco dives even lower, skimming so close to the sea that radar loses him again. The missile flies straight, and then sails uselessly past, losing its target. On Broadsword, engineers scramble to reboot the Seawolf system. Screens flicker back to life. The incoming Skyhawks appear on radar. A lock is achieved. Launchers rotate, ready to fire. And then, disbelief. HMS Coventry sails directly across Broadsword's line of fire. Damn it. Coventry's in the way. In the confusion of maneuvering to cover all threats, the only clear missile shot is blocked. There is no more time. Inside the cockpits, Velasco and Barrinuevo see their target filling the windscreen. On Coventry, Hart-Dyke gives the final order. Fire at will. Every weapon that can fire does. Cannons roar. Machine guns chatter. The sea churns violently beneath the crossfire. The main gun's shells strike short, the targeting is misaligned. One of the 20mm anti-air guns jams at the worst possible second. Crewmen hammer at it in desperation. Sailors, stripped of options, fire rifles into the sky. The Skyhawks keep coming. Brace, brace, brace. The call echoes through the ship. Men dive for cover. Velasco squeezes the trigger. His A-4's 20mm cannons rake Coventry's deck and superstructure, stitching lines of fire across metal and equipment. Then he releases his bombs. They arc downward and slam into HMS Coventry's hull with two hollow, almost muted impacts. For a heartbeat, nothing. No explosion. The second A-4 oars overhead, its bomb rack malfunctioning. Payload still attached. Seconds stretch unbearably long. Men begin to rise, confused. A damage report crackles over the intercom, but the voice is cut short. Then the ship erupts. Two massive explosions tear through HMS Coventry. Flames burst skyward. Smoke billows into the South Atlantic sky. In the air, Argentine pilots shout in exhilaration. They've done it. One explosion detonates beneath the bridge, ripping a gaping hole in the hull and obliterating the computer room. fire surges upward through corridors, and into the operations room where officers had been directing the battle moments before. A second blast trips through the forward engine room. Screams echo around him. Disorienting. Directionless. The deck beneath his feet tilts sharply. The ship is listing. He reaches for the intercom, dead. There's no saving her now. He forces himself through smoke-choked passageways. Hearing the hull groan and crack, somehow he finds an exit and emerges onto the deck into the cold Atlantic air. And what he sees is not chaos, but discipline. The crew has trained for this. Sailors carry the wounded from smoke-filled compartments.
1, 2, 3.
Medical teams work methodically. Others deploy life rafts and help shipmates into survival gear. Coventry lists further. Heart-dying, dazed and injured, sinks to the tilting hull as evacuation continues around him. One by one, his men abandon ship, until only one remains. Captain David Hartdyke stands alone on the upturned hull of HMS Coventry. He looks once more at the burning wreck of his command. He has done his duty, thanks to the professionalism and rapid rescue efforts of HMS Broadsword and British helicopters. 170 sailors are pulled from the freezing waters, but 19 men lose their lives. All Argentine pilots return safely to base. They achieved a stunning tactical victory, yet it would not alter the ultimate outcome of the war. The battle for the Falklands would continue, and history would remember the day low-flying Skyhawks pierced one of the Royal Navy's most modern destroyers, in a fight decided by seconds, altitude, and fate.